So, Jujutsu Shenanigans, the game most known for its community. Due to JJS being quite diverse, you can't really pin a general stereotype. That's why you should look at the character the person is mainly playing. Now, quick disclaimer, a stereotype doesn't mean everyone. Sometimes some of these are exaggerated for a joke, or sometimes they're dead accurate. Still, don't take this too seriously. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at the first character. Ah yes, Gojo, the character everyone has played at least once. Due to it being the first character you load in with, it's pretty simple and pretty solid to play with. Due to there being arguably better and more complex characters, most experienced people eventually move on. So usually the people playing are 10-year-old iPad babies who just found the game. But sometimes you meet a solo Gojo player who doesn't say a word and is about to take on a 4-man gank and still win. Though the vast majority of these players are old farmers. In the base they aren't all that good and likely will lose most fights. But if you stop looking at them for even a second, they will be an ult and they will drive by domain you and kill you instantly. But let's say you survive their ultimate. Well, get ready to chase them down the map, and if you don't have Megumi, well, good luck. This is also the most popular character used in TikToks and other short form videos. So sometimes you can see people trying to reenact some of those videos. But one thing throughout every Gojo player is that they will always try to go for red reversal black flash. Though they usually miss it and end up getting punished due to it. Where do I even begin? If you thought that the base for Gojo was brain dead, then you haven't seen Yuji. Yuji is one of the few characters in the game to have a straight up combo extender, so it's pretty brain dead to fight. And despite this, it has one of the best arm moves in the entire game, which straight up allows you to feint any attacks. Yet, no one uses it 99% of the time. Not because it's bad, don't get me wrong, but because the average opponent is an iPad baby who doesn't even react to the feints and just keep pressing random buttons. So essentially you get punished for trying to play it smart. More experienced players will also try to use this in movement during fights, but usually you can just catch them and it doesn't really do all that much. As for the vast majority who play this, well, they're cosplayers, specifically cosplaying Yuji. Luckily they aren't all that good, but the brain dead combos do make up for it and can be a bit of a threat if you're not careful. Oh, and if you see them in ult, they will always go for world cutting slash. Usually they won't use it all that smartly, so you can just go in for a cancel. Or you can do like a normal juke and they'll usually just miss it anyways. You know that you're playing objectively the worst character in the game, yet you still keep playing it. Well, I guess it isn't all that true anymore, because it did get a slight buff to the ultimate some time ago, and the base moveset, if you can even call that a buff. Generally, Hakari players are casuals. Like, if you thought a JJS player was a casual, well, these guys are as casual as it gets. The moveset is simple and the ultimate is gimmicky and silly. They just find it funny as hell to tank an entire Gojo moveset in their domain expansion, and then to just chase down the Gojo player across the map. This character also belongs in the old farming category, because I swear, every time there's this one Hakari player who is somehow always in jackpot. And since they're old farmers, they aren't all that good either. But Jesus Christ, are they aggressive compared to the other old farmers. But to be fair, that kind of applies to every single Hakari player. You are an annoying piece of shit. Look, the character itself mainly focuses on zoning. Even if they try to get close and actually do combos, it is so annoying to fight against. Due to so many moves having hyper armor, it's just so hard to fight it without losing half your lifespan by the time you actually kill them. And before you go, but Zemef, you can actually cancel their moves. Yeah, good luck catching them on the 0.1 second timing. The ultimate is also pretty decent, but they usually won't try to go for Maharaga, because they know that if the server sees a Maharaga, well, it's about to be a 1v5. Then there's also the most annoying subset of people who just sit on the rooftops and hit people with that frog move. These are also generally the same type of people that if they see you standing somewhere doing absolutely nothing, they will use Nue on you every single time. Generally, they aren't a threat, nor do they care enough to go for the ultimate, rather they enjoy watching the world burn. A lot of the time they're also parkour demons, so don't even try chasing them. I also want to talk about the Megumi players who specifically go for Maharaga. Now, I'm considering them their own player because they take the game least seriously. They don't play Megumi by themselves, they just specifically go for that. Because most funny clips I see nowadays are with Mahoraga players doing something really dumb. Now, yes, technically speaking, they are old farmers, but don't get it twisted, these guys are absolute demons when it comes to combat. Due to constantly being 1v5 by little iPad kids who think it's some mini-boss, Mahoraga players are pretty damn good. Yet, they won't ever smack talk anyone, regardless if they win or lose. Look, I know Mahito isn't done, but the first awakening is already finished, so it's basically done, but I don't care, whatever. If you play Mahito, you're an absolute god tier sweat. You don't technically main Mahito, well, not until an early access character comes out with an insane 100-0 combo. If you play Mahito, you are an absolute god tier sweat. You don't technically main Mahito as you were likely drawn in by the high damage combos it had on its early stages, which I guess it's still pretty good, but yeah. Though its place in the game is rather unique as it can be both for zoning and CQC, so that is probably the reason why tryhards gravitate towards the Mahito moveset. In the future this will probably also slowly start getting into the old farmer category as the second awakening is currently in the works, but at the moment these guys are generally no life sweats. Look, I know that technically this isn't a character, but there are some people who exclusively play early access characters. And regardless of it being, well, a Game Pass, they still have their own stereotype. Usually the players who only stick to early access characters are considered whales. No, I'm not talking about their size, rather the term used for people who pour unbelievable amounts of money into games. In JJS, these types of players are usually the female cosplayers or the, gooners. Since they've already put a lot of Robux into their outfits, they also put that money into JJS as well. And due to this, a majority of their time spent is on Roblox and JJS. And you can usually find these guys talking in the game a lot, be it toxic or not. They're also pretty decent at the game, but just steer clear of them. So, that about sums it up, and to reiterate what I said before, don't take this too seriously. The opinions and stereotypes honestly vary a lot, so you should be looking at other variables to form your own opinion. Like their emotes! Yes, I do plan to make a second video as I honestly love making these videos. I get to point out funny stereotypes, I get to play the game, and I get to edit videos. It's a win-win. But do tell me down in the comments below, what would you like to see next? Do you think I missed some stereotypes, or maybe you think I'm an absolute moron for having some of these opinions? Regardless, be sure to share some of your own ideas. But with that, I will see you in the next one.